What's going on, YouTube world? This is your guy, Sealz the Man. Thank you for coming back on another late night edition episode. And tonight, I'm going to talk about the 5 pillars of an intentional man. What makes a man intentional? Why is a man intentional? What does an intentional man look like? What does an intentional man sound like? How does an intentional man move? You get the gist? I believe it is important to understand the makeup of an intentional man because it will make you understand men a lot better. As you understand, this is the theme of my channel, understanding the mind of decent men, good men. And for those who follow me, y'all know I made this channel for my 2 younger nieces so that when they become of age, they will understand men better. And this is an important part to know. All right, so before I start, make sure you follow me, like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you hit that subscribe button below this video box so you will be up to date with all my videos. And if you haven't already, check out my older videos. All right, let's get to the first pillar of an intentional man. And the first pillar is action. You cannot have satisfaction without action. Listen, people could talk a good game. They can present themselves as if they are exactly what they say they are. They can tell you what they want and will do for you, but none of that matters unless there's action following that. You see, the thing with action is it takes effort to complete it. It takes energy. It takes want and desire. It takes labor. It takes something to create action. You can't be lazy with action. You can't just be a good talker with action, because action is what defines a person and what their intentions are with you. If a dude does not back up his words with action, then he is doing nothing but creating sounds with his mouth. Trust and believe me, listen to your guy, all right? Words without action are just words. Let's go to the second pillar of an intentional man, and that is purpose. Every intentional man has purpose. Every intentional man has a mission. Every intentional man has a goal. Every intentional man has intent. The first pillar I talked about, action, pairs well with this pillar in purpose, because action is the physical manifestation of his purpose. Purpose is birthed here. It's birthed on the inside. It's created on the inside. And his actions make it a real thing. But the reason why a man must have purpose in order to be intentional is because purpose is the landscape for his vision. When a man has purpose, he has a field of dreams. And when it comes to you, his purpose is to be with you. And because he has purpose, he knows what he wants. He knows what the end goal is. He knows what the finish line is. He knows what the mission is. But he must have purpose in order to have that want, to want those things. A man without purpose is just floating. He has no aim. And that is why it is dangerous to be with someone without aim or without purpose in this matter, because you do not know what direction they are going to go. And if you are tagging along with a person like this, you will face whatever consequences he faces. And trust and believe there are consequences to not having aim, or in this case, purpose. Because you can lead yourself and your partner somewhere you shouldn't be. And that is why purpose is important, because it is your guiding light. He knows what he wants with you. He knows what he wants to do with you because he has purpose. The third pillar of an intentional man is another P word, which is plan. It's all good and dandy to have a purpose. It's all good and dandy to have dreams and goals and desired achievements. That's all good. But a man cannot execute those things until he makes a plan. I know that I cannot get to step B unless I go through step A first. I can't just jump to a desired outcome. I have to work my way towards that. Never let a man tell you that he wants an end goal with you or a big extravagant dream with you without having a plan. This kind of goes back to good talkers. Can talk a good game, but if there's no plan behind it, then there is nothing there to begin with. Have you ever been in a relationship with someone and they tell you, you know, we gonna have kids, we gonna have a big house, we gonna be rich, we gonna be traveling, and 6 months in, a year in, 2 years in, 5 years in, none of those things happen. It is most likely because that person did not plan with you. That person did not plan, period. Because dreams are not cheap. You have to earn your dream. You have to earn your blessings. Because if you don't, you will waste them, or you just won't ever get there. Nothing is free. You got to work for everything you want in life. And that goes for your relationships as well. But an intentional man knows that. He knows that in order for me to provide the best for my family, my woman, my future, I need to make steps to get there. If your man is not making steps, whether they be small or big, then he is not serious about his intent with you. He is not really about that action. You must have a plan in order to execute your purpose. and that involves action. You see how I tied all three of those pillars together? Come on, stop playing with me. Let's go to the fourth pillar of an intentional man, and that is faith. Lord, this is a big one for me. Faith is the foundation. If your relationship with your man is the house, faith is the ground that it sits on. And if you have no faith, you are on sand, weak foundation, unreliable land. Faith is what strengthens it all. Because one thing I want to emphasize on to you tonight is that we are all human. We are all imperfect. We all make mistakes. We all have faults. We all are working on things and trying to become better, hopefully. But some of us aren't. Some of us are anchoring in our issues, and that is translating to your relationships. All that to say, we mess up. So therefore, once again, if your relationship is the house, it is highly likely that it will fall, that it will break down, that it will have cracks, that the weather will come and blow it away because of our imperfection. But guess what? When your foundation is faith, when your foundation is believing in something greater than yourself, when you believe in the Almighty Creator that created this beautiful relationship for you, that you know you couldn't have done by yourself, then you know when that house breaks down, it is still on that foundation, and therefore that means you can build it back up because you have such a strong foundation, which is your faith. When it seems like your relationship is failing, that foundation will give you hope. Because if a house breaks down on shaky ground, it will be hard to build again on that. It's probably a sinkhole. It's probably swampland. It is not made for a house to be built on top of it. An intentional man knows that he cannot do it all. An intentional man's goal is to do the most so that God can do the rest. We understand that our anchor, which is our faith, is going to bring success to us and is going to bring success to our house, which is our relationship. It is dangerous messing with people, especially being in a relationship with people who don't believe in anything, who believe that they are the greatest thing to happen since sliced bread, that they can fix everything. Because the reality is, if all your hope is anchored in yourself, then it will most likely fail. Because you will fail. Because you are imperfect. We need hope that has an internal source, and we are not that. All right? So whatever you believe in, that's fine, but I'm just going to give you what works for me and what has worked for my mentors and the greatest men in my life, the intentional men in my life. All right? So the fifth pillar of an intentional man is relations. Kind of like how I talked about the first pillar, that you cannot have satisfaction without action. Well, you cannot have a healthy relationship without relations. Now, what do I mean by relations? An intentional man understands the chemistry and the structure of what a relationship is. He understands the science that makes relationships go. He understands that it's not just about him, that there are two people in this union, and that he has to adjust his mindset and his decision making and the things he does to satisfy two. And he understands that because there are two people and not just one, that we have to grow together and not individually. He understands that a relationship is a team. It's a partnership. He understands that relations involves love, consideration, respect. An intentional man understands that he needs to know what relationships are all about, simply said. It's crazy to say, but there are a lot of people in today's relationships who don't even know what a relationship is, what it entails, how it works. And that is why you see so many failing relationships, because they are in something they know nothing of. You have to understand relations. And when it comes to relations, the fifth pillar of an intentional man, he understands that it's not just about relations with his woman, but it's about the relations with himself. An intentional man understands that he cannot give his all into something that involves another person and not give his all into himself first and foremost. Because no matter how much he wants a relationship with another woman or relations with another woman, he cannot do that if he does not have respect for himself. How can he respect another woman and not respect himself? His relations with self needs to be correct before trying to come correct at another woman. It all starts here. Intentional men understand that. Intentional men understand the basics and the structure of relations. So let me just recap real quick. The 5 pillars of an intentional man are action, purpose, plan, faith, and relations. So if you are wondering if a man is being intentional with you, make sure you remember this video and remember the 5 pillars that I just gave you. Otherwise, he is not Sealz approved. All right, so that's it for my video tonight. And always remember to lead with love. Peace and blessings. I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.